They said the house had good bones, but no one mentioned the ones still inside. When the Rileys moved in, they noticed a smell, faint at first, like old damp wood, but it grew thicker, heavier, almost sweet. At night, the walls whispered. It wasn't the wind, but something softer, wetter, a dragging sound beneath the plaster. One evening, while repainting the nursery, Michael's roller struck something hollow, and a muffled thump echoed from inside. He pressed his ear to the wall and heard breathing. The next morning, a section of wallpaper had peeled away on its own, revealing an uneven patch in the plaster. He chipped it open and found strands of hair, matted and brittle, tangled around. A finger bone. The smell roared out like a living thing. And then, from deep within the wall, something shifted and whispered his name. Michael dropped the hammer, but it didn't matter. The wall bulged outward, as if the house itself was exhaling, and pale hands began to push through, desperate to drag him inside, so he too could be buried in the walls. Michael stumbled backward, his breath catching in his throat as the plaster cracked and crumbled, dust filling the air like choking fog. The hands kept coming thin, gray, skin stretched taut over bone, nails black and curling. They didn't claw wildly. They reached with intent, slow and deliberate, like they knew him, like they'd been waiting. A face emerged between them, skin torn in places to reveal the yellow of bone, eyes cloudy, yet locked on him with unnatural focus. Its jaw opened wider than any human's should, the sound of cartilage tearing filling the room. And from the black void inside came a voice, another. For the foundation. Behind him, every wall in the house began to groan and swell outward, bulges forming as more shapes pressed against them, eager to escape their prison. Michael bolted for the door, but it slammed shut on its own, splintering at the hinges as skeletal arms wrapped around his waist, pulling him back. The wallpaper peeled from every side, and he realized with sickening horror that the walls weren't built of wood and brick. They were made of people, still living, still breathing people, sealed in forever, until the house decided it wanted more. The arms dragged Michael deeper into the wall, the plaster cold and damp against his skin, yet somehow pulsing like flesh. He kicked and screamed, but every movement only made the grip tighten, pulling him through layers that seemed to melt and reform around his body. His head broke through into darkness, and he realized he wasn't alone. Faces surrounded him on all sides, men, women, children, eyes open, mouths sealed shut by the same plaster-like skin. Their chests rose and fell in shallow labored breaths, as if they were all trapped in some living purgatory. In the blackness, an ancient voice slithered into his mind. I was built with blood and bone. The first owner fed me the sinners. Every family since has paid in flesh. The voice wasn't just speaking, it was inside him, vibrating through his skull. He saw flashes of the house's past, men digging shallow graves in the foundation, women screaming as their bodies were sealed in brick, children crying behind fresh plaster. And now, him. As the wall sealed over his face, he felt his lungs constrict, but he didn't die. Instead, he was frozen, still breathing, still aware, becoming part of the house's endless hunger. Somewhere upstairs, the front door creaked open, and Michael heard footsteps. Another family had arrived,